I start? Started? Hello, Ms. Catherine. Before I proceed to my presentation, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wong Wei Hong, and I'm in your tutorial group 2 for your communication and organization subject. The topic I propose for my assignment 2 is the leadership communication in public relations agency. The aim of this study is to examine how leaders in creative industry, and in this case, I will be choosing Essence Communication, a PR agency in Malaysia, and study how they perform leadership communication using new communication technologies with their subordinates. The contribution of this study is to support the consistency of research findings on the importance of leadership communication, and also to study the use of study the use of new communication technologies by PR practitioners at PR agencies. The objective of this study is to investigate the use of new communication technologies by leaders in a PR agency in Malaysia, and to ascertain the purposes of using new communication technologies, also to appraise the benefits and challenges of using new communication technologies as an internal communication tool, and finally to explore leaders' perspective on the predominant use of new communication technologies as effective communication culture. The first journal article I found is about the communication of leaders in virtual teams, their expectations and their realization in leaders' computer-mediated communication. Leaders face challenges when leading a distributed team virtually. Various features of competent communication practices have been presented in this study, and ranging from information seeking and networking skills to negotiating ability. However, the qualities needed in leading a virtual team have not been studied extensively in organizational virtual teams. The second journal article I found, it's about the relativity importance of leadership behaviors in virtual and face-to-face communication settings. It says here, as globalization grows continuously, virtual communication plays an increasingly important role in organizations. Question always arises as to whether team members consider some behaviors of their leaders to be more or less important in virtual communication settings as compared to face-to-face communication settings. However, channels and effectiveness of the message needs to be studied more extensively in this research. The third literature review is about the leadership communication in a virtual team. Leadership is primarily accomplished through communication. To be a leader in the internet age, however, requires a new form of communication skills. Very few studies address how virtual leadership is actually accomplished and the purposes of employing new communication technologies. The last literature review is about the communication among virtual team too. It says in this study that as an evolutionary form of organizational network, virtual teams are enabled by advancement in information and communication technology. Responding to the advancement of communication technology, this study showcased how leadership communication can leverage technology for communication efforts among team members. This research has focused significantly on the design of virtual team interaction, and studies have not shown sufficient findings in respect to supporting best practices for virtual teams. My research questions would be on what are the types of communication technologies channels used by the leaders with their subordinates in a PR agency. Second question would be, what are the purposes of using these communication technologies with the employees? And the third one are, what are the benefits and challenges of communication technologies usage as internal communication channels in a workplace? The last research question would be, to what extent the leaders in a PR agency have used the communication technologies as effective internal communication tools. My methodology would base on qualitative data identified on topics related to the leadership communication and communication among virtual teams. And my search would include examination of academic-related journals, papers, and interviews with leaders in one PR agency only. Also, in determining the publications to select for my review, electronic searches were limited to ones with the presence of one or more of the following concepts only, which are leadership communication, leaders and virtual team communication, and importance of information and communication technologies. No other aspects of virtual teams were examined. The topic for my assignment 3 would be organizational change and leadership processes using culture approach. And following are my references. And thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation.
The topic that you've chosen, where did you get that one from?